What up, guys? August 7th. Few things to talk about in this one, but a couple of shout-outs first. Shout out to the Epoch Times, that media outlet. They're the only ones that have contacted me so far wanting to have an open and honest conversation on Q, actually get some facts on it instead of throw some nonsense opinion piece out there. So shout out to Epoch, and then shout out to my friend Dylan. Dylan's the designer of the Deep State Mapping Project. That's one of those maps that you've seen around that's a flow chart with all the arrows and the different topics on it. He sent me this shirt, and it's got his Deep State map on it, so it's awesome. It's got thousands of little words and all these different arrows, so I'm going to wear this everywhere, and I hope everybody reads everything on it. So thanks, Dylan. You can find his Instagram account down below. You can see the different things he makes with this map on it. But now getting into the articles, let's first talk about Q here. So the corporate propaganda media is continuously running their hit pieces on it. There's a few more every single day. The Washington Post is leading the bunch, and there's no question as to why. Remember when Amazon got a $600 million contract from the CIA back in 2013, they went and bought out the Washington Post for a couple $100 million. So, hey, you're basically reading what the CIA wants you to read when you're reading WAPO. And here is another article that came out yesterday. It says, JFK Jr. didn't die. He runs QAnon, and he's #1 Trump fan. Oh my God! Exclamation points. And this is, I mean, they're just resorting to ridicule. That's all they have left, is to try and make fun of the issue, throw out a bunch of lies, bad information about it, and then just rag on the issue. It's pretty awful. And funny enough, speaking of that mapping project, they linked it. They linked one of the first versions that Dylan made on WAPO. Ha! Nice synchronicity. I didn't even realize they had that on there. And here I am wearing the shirt. And then again, they just go into a lot of ridicule. They're trying to make fun of the whole issue. And then we also have Anonymous. So Anonymous vows to take down and expose QAnon. So we have this Anon versus that Anon. And it's just going to go on and on and on, guys, with all of this exposing they're going to try to do with Q. And I've seen a bunch of people on Twitter claiming Q is fake. Certain people claiming to have expose pieces where they're going to get all the facts out about it and debunk the whole thing because it's a scam. And I have literally seen no good evidence, and it's all just recycled or fabricated bad information that people are continuously putting out there. It's just bad. It's, you know, what's that Gandhi quote? First they ignore you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, then you win. Well, we're in like the ridicule/fight stage now. Just about to win. Just about to win. So let's check out Q's recent post. So there was only 3 of them from yesterday. And we're going to read them, though, because it's pretty comprehensive and just gives a good big picture. So post 1822, psychological projection, define conspiracy. A conspiracy, by dictionary definition, is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. A conspiracy to destroy the government, or the government in a conspiracy to enrich themselves and destroy the people. Or 2, it's the action of plotting or conspiring. They were cleared of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Fake news. Fake news is collaborating and pushing knowingly false information. All these examples here of lies that they've told about the president, on and on from QAnon. Knowingly false, fear and scare push. They would rather see North Korea peace negotiations fail and war than see president resolve it all. It's a conspiracy. It's collaboration. They're hiding all of their lies. They're hiding their payoffs. They're hiding the fact that they've knowingly lied to us about so many different things. Not just Q, but politics, but science and medicine and all of it. All of it, guys. They want you divided by race, religion, culture, class, political affiliation. It's an important one. They want you divided by liberal, conservative. They want you divided by left-wing, right-wing, okay? I continuously say these days, they're not trying to silence conservative voices. Thing is, a lot of conservative voices just happen to be speaking about truths that the deep state doesn't want out there. So it's not conservative voices, it's truth that they're trying to censor and keep out of everybody's minds. This movement challenges their forced narrative. This movement challenges people to not simply trust what is being reported, but to research for yourself, think for yourself, trust yourself. All these anti-Qers, Q detractors, people who are claiming it's a scam but have done no actual research into it. How many actual hours have they spent on 8chan figuring out the process, learning it, understanding it? None. None at all. Yet they claim to have this authority or this knowledge of the issue. It's amazing. The ego, the arrogance that is surfacing right now. This movement is not about, one person or group of people. It's about we the people. And we're witnessing a full panic attack by the fake news and covert alternative media affiliates that may or may not have connections to foreign governments. Who is that? Not going to name names, but you can find out. They cannot contain or defeat what they do not understand. Truly, that's what I was just talking about. Is any of this normal? Think sealed indictment count. Think resignations of CEOs. Think resignations of Congress and senators. Who is not coming back next year? Who stepped down for misconduct late last year? A lot of names. Think termination of senior FBI and senior DOJ. Watergate times 1,000, truly, if not more than that. All of these things would not be going on. That and so much more. So much more as well. The downing of all the military aircraft very mysteriously. How many planes turned around last year? Like I said, how many people are stepping away for sexual misconduct and being outed? What about the Nexium case and those connections? Connections to the Rothschilds even. What about, there's so much stuff. So much stuff that's just not a coincidence. The timing of it all. That's why to really understand Q, you have to understand the big picture perspective. Logical thinking as they ask us. And then this next post saying, the bill that opened the door for Twitter, Facebook, and Google to censor and control. Q links this bill right here. It came out in 2016. It's called the Countering Foreign Propaganda and Disinformation Act. So whoever wrote this up, sped it through Congress, they did so under the guise of Russia and foreign propaganda. That was their convenient excuse that they made up and used. Problem, reaction, solution right there. They blamed Russia, ran this bill through, and now they can use it to censor us. So that's nonsense right there. And one last thing, an interesting little proof that I noticed yesterday. This is a recent one. If you look at what Q has been saying the past couple weeks in a number, that number is 20. Q's been referencing 20. Here it is on August 5th. Here it is on August 1st. And here it is for the first time on July 24th. Now, I was wondering what 20 meant. In the back of my head, I was like, August 20th? Like, is something going to happen on August 20th? And then I saw a news report talking about FISA. And you'll notice one of the 20s right here, both of them actually. Two of the three have to do with FISA. Well, that's the FISA report. So it's actually 20 pages long. And the very first time that it was mentioned about being 20 pages long, the declassified FISA report that we're waiting on now, is from Nunes on July 29th. When he was on an interview on Fox News, he made reference to the 20 pages of the declassified FISA report. Well, Q first mentioned 20 pages, a 20, remember, on July 24th. So it was a full 5 days before Nunes dropped the bomb that it was 20 pages long. So again, Q is not a who, Q is a what. It's a information dissemination program meant for us to connect the dots and to wake up the greater public to. And yes, they have inside connections. Boom. Another piece of evidence right there. So that's all in regards to Q I wanted to say today. There's just more lies about it coming through the media, mainstream media, alternative media, and an interesting sort of confirmation, verification right there between the 20. Now moving on into the rest of the video. Quick shout out to a sponsor of this YouTube channel, and Noble Gold Investments. If you want to invest your money in something that's going to give you a much better long-term return and be much safer, not crash like the volatile stock markets, look into investing in precious metals. You could get a 10 to 15% long-term return, and it's not going to crash. Precious metal value was always there. So look into Noble Gold to invest your money in something that's just going to be much safer for you. There'll be some links down below. So now let's move into talking about Alex Jones. He was banned from so many different big tech companies, holding accounts with them over the past day. YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, I believe Spotify and Pinterest even deleted the Infowars accounts. So it's this total coordinated censorship effort. Now, of course, we've all got opinions on Alex Jones. I definitely have mine, but they don't matter here. What matters is censorship. I've dealt with it plenty Infowars is dealing with it right now. This is truly against the First Amendment. It doesn't matter who you are or what you believe. People on these public platforms should have a right to voice what they want to voice, as long as it's not harmful or hateful. Now, Alex Jones, is what he says harmful? Well, I mean, it's not direct threats, so they shouldn't be terminating him for hate speech. Of course, he could be a lot less divisive with the way he goes about saying things, but of course, this wasn't about hate speech. This was about just censoring true content that the elite don't want out there. So that's that. And here's a good question put out there by the Huffington Post. After years of Alex Jones conspiracy theories, why now? Well, there's a lot of thoughts I have on this. Some I will reserve for the moment, but why now? We're towards the end. We're towards the end of the establishment elite being exposed. The truth coming out about them. Just a few days ago, Alex Jones had Isaac Cappy on, so of course they want to try and censor that, right? And there's a lot of things they're trying to censor right now, not just what Alex Jones talks about, but what I talk about, what many other people talking about. They're trying to censor and ridicule the Q idea and just everything, not just Q, not just Alex Jones, but everything they're truly trying to censor right now. So what did I say earlier? First they ridicule you, then fight you, then you win. Well, again, we're just about to win. I want to talk about this article really quick that I saw come out yesterday. So it says the Parkland shooting suspect told police that he heard a demon telling him burn, kill, and destroy. When I saw this, I was not surprised at all. So this is a fantastic piece of evidence for what's called the voice of God technology being used in this. I actually made a video on the voice of God technology a few months ago. I'll go ahead and link it up above wherever it pops up. But the voice of God technology is essentially them being able to utilize electromagnetic technologies to implant thoughts and programs into the subconscious mind of individuals. So this is very real stuff. In many of these mass shootings, you'll hear people say that they heard demons or they suddenly started going crazy and was hearing voices in their heads. That's why it's called the voice of God technology. And not only that, but it is essentially an offshoot of the MK Ultra mind control programs. So of course, those were the CIA programs in the 1960s and 70s that were mind controlling their victims with drugs or electroshock therapy or trauma, basically. A lot of people think those ended. Like, oh, MK Ultra, yeah, those ended in the 70s, right? No, they didn't. They just went deeper, darker, much more black. They figured out what they could do with the human mind, what the human consciousness was capable of, and how you could program it, right? And then they started putting those technologies, those programs into action. This is an example of that. So that's what I want to say there. And then I saw this article yesterday come out from Forbes. Now, this article came out almost 2.5, 3 weeks ago, but I still want to report on it because I was shocked to see this in Forbes. Forbes is mainstream, and what they're talking about here is our government intentionally hiding $21 trillion in spending? And this is actually a fantastic article. I read through it. They're talking about how there's so much missing money that is been swiped out of the Department of Defense and HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development. They talk about the OIG reports detailing that. They talk about Catherine Austin Fitts and her work detailing how much money has been swiped into black budget programs. And then I love how at the very end, there's a sentence here, and it says, all this said, the $21 trillion missing. If so, why can no one provide it? I'm not one to see a conspiracy under every bush, but this one definitely looks like one, he basically says. So that was a good line at the end of the article there. Yeah, guys, lots of money missing. Something even Q has alluded to. Very early drop. This one from November 6th, I believe. Q said $15,000 for a toothbrush. Who audit where the money goes? Reconcile. Exactly. Who audit where the money goes? Actually, nobody does. It's never been audited. Until this year, we have the very first audit being done on the DoD, the Pentagon right now, which, no coincidence, finally we need someone like Trump with no strings attached on him into office to get a freaking audit of the Pentagon. Very interested to see what comes out of that. But up until now, nobody's been auditing where the money goes. It goes into black programs that even Congress doesn't know about, and oftentimes the president isn't told about. And these programs are owned and operated by factions, elements within rogue intelligence agencies, corporate contractors, and the like, military-industrial complex. So there you go, guys. Very good article to share. Very good article to share about the trillions missing. If you want to open their minds up to say, oh, secret space programs, deep underground military bases, things like that, boom. I'll drop a link to this article down below, and you can just copy it, share it along. And then last two things here I want to make note of is some weird things coming out in the mainstream media. So first of all, a massive glowing rogue planet spotted drifting in space. Huh. They say it's about 20 light years out. They don't actually know what it is. They say it's an object. They have to determine exactly what it is, but it's this big glowing object. Huh. Okay. Not only that, but we have mysterious radio signals from space. Astronomers aren't sure of the origins. So again, more weird things that they claim to be hearing from space that they aren't sure where it's from. And the point I want to make in showing you these two articles is that with everything blowing up, right? With Q blowing up, now they have to censor a bunch of channels that are trying to expose the deep state. You know, the elite are getting, they're on the ropes. They're down to the wire. So what they have to do is now try to distract us. And one of the big ways they can distract us is through the use of any kind of information that is out there. You understand? Things that we're not told, that a lot of people are very ignorant about, that's exactly what they're going to be able to utilize to pull some kind of distraction, some false flag in a way. You know, they could say, oh, we found some stuff in space, everybody. Oh my gosh, potential alien life. Or they could say, oh, we found some ancient civilizations under Antarctica. You know, there's all these cards they have in their back pocket. They're just waiting to play to distract us with if need be, okay? So understand that. Understand these are all just to wow us. In those programs, in the black projects, they know so much about our solar system and our galaxy that, I mean, they know these things. They're just letting certain things, allowing them out into the public domain right now. To either A, distract us, or B, I mean, there are some white hats within the intelligence agencies, within those programs, that want the full disclosure out there. So it's kind of like a race to disclose right now, right? We've got a cabal that could give us half the truth to distract us, distract the mainstream population with, and we have people out there that want the full truth out. So it's this very sensitive dance that's going on between who is going to disclose what first, for what agenda, why, how, you know. But that's another conversation. That's a long conversation for another time in really deciphering what they could disclose and how they're going to go about it and how we could avoid that, avoid being swept up by some kind of false flag disclosure psyop. You see, I'll make some videos on that because that's actually, heck, one of the most important things, right? Going on right now is all these disclosures and how it's going to come out and from who. So anyway, that's all for this video this morning here, guys. There'll be some more coming today, hopefully, and definitely this week. And I'll be checking in very soon. That's that. Done.